And the girl in the book would not have to stay inside and act like a boy to provide for her family if Afghanistan let girls go outside and provide for their family with their own looks. What'd you say?
Well, I said that she lives in this one-room house because everywhere they've lived, a bomb has been dropped on them, again and again, and so they've just been progressively getting into smaller. So I just basically said Parvana lives in a one-room house, and the Taliban don't let them leave because they don't like women at all, or girls, and if they lived somewhere else or if the Taliban weren't there. Sorry. That didn't mean to happen. Why don't we pull this back? There we go. Now it's got it like that. I said that if they lived in like another country or continent, or if the Taliban weren't there, then Parvana may be able to go to school, and and her mother could continue writing, and her dad would not be kidnapped.
Yeah. Okay. So the second question, based on the first impression of the major characters, how would you describe him or her? What did they do or say to create this impression?
Well, I wrote, in my defense, I wrote this whenever I'd only read it, like, the first 20 pages, but I said that Parvana was self-centered, because she whines about all her chores, and whenever she was going to rescue her dad, I mean, she concentrated only on, she focused on herself. She didn't even notice how her mother was in pain or what her mother was feeling. It was only until she got all the way home that she realized that her mother needed some attention.
Yeah, I noticed that it said after they went home and the mother started crying a lot. And yeah, and she just in that time she just noticed that her mother was in pain with all that her husband had just been taken away from her, just like that. But I said that she was angry with the soldiers and the war for taking everything away from her, and now that she can't go to school, she was even more angry at them. So I guess that could tie in with being self-centered, because she was only feeling mad.
She was frustrated and focusing and being like, why does everything bad happen to me?
Yeah, she was like, we could have had our beautiful home and all of this stuff and yada yada yada.
And then they had to sell it all.
Yeah, and it was all bombed and stuff like that.
When I imagine their house, I just imagine this big concrete box.
Yeah, me too. And I imagine with the tea stove.
And I just imagine it all pressed up against one wall, and then there's just
yeah, and she said she could get away from Noria.
It's Garsu Noria.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. Noria?
Okay.
Noria? I don't know. You roll the R.
Okay. The third question. What do you believe is the major conflict of the story? What started this problem? How does this conflict impact the main character?
Well, I said that because the father of the man of the house, I guess, is gone. Mm-hmm. They need money because nobody else can make it, and so because they don't have any, they're kind of in a little tiny bit of trouble.
Yeah,
just a bit.
Good.
It's on your paper.
No, I was about to sneeze. Okay. So I said I think the main problem is the Taliban, because that's how everything started. They just walked into their house, they owned everything, and took their father away from them, which started this whole problem, and this whole problem where they couldn't go to school, they couldn't do a lot of things that all the men could do, and now that the man of the house was gone, she absolutely had to do this.
I think they said, when the Taliban were taking him, I think they said something like, why did you get your education in England or something like that? I think I think they took him away because he got his education in another country. I think it's around page 30. Check there. We're gonna put it up against the camera. Taliban versus the door. Ooh. Why did you go to England for your education?
Yeah.
Afghanistan doesn't need your foreign ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he said Afghan needs illiterate thugs like you.
Yeah, I think it's sarcastic.
Yeah.
Do we want to like put it against the camera? I don't know if we need to or not. It's like the bottom. It's backwards. Never.
Oh yeah, it's backwards. So
Never mind.
yeah, fine. Okay.
All right. So okay.
So that's how everything started. The Taliban weren't so angry.
They
and
weren't
just
so
stormed
rude.
in. I don't think they would even be allowed to go in their house like that, like banging on their walls and all this stuff.
Yeah, normally.
And I said I think the main problem is the Taliban. What started the whole what started this is the leader of the religious group.
Taliban.
But I really don't know
religion.
if like was it like a dictator or something.
I don't think the Taliban. I don't know if the Taliban rule the country or not. I think they're just a super duper religious group, and they believe that any and all things outside of their religion need to go away now.
like dictators.
I don't know. I mean, if the leader of Afghanistan was a dictator, then maybe.
Probably.
I don't know if he was part of the Taliban.
So did like this random person just walk up and say like,
Hey,
I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. Women are bad.
Yeah,
all
that's
this stuff.
according to their religion, that's true.
Really?
Yeah, their religion says that women can't do things like that. Yeah.
Well, I can't say anything about that because it's religion. So
Let's not offend people.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
On to the back. So,
One of my questions was, why won't the family just move? Like, what's their point of just staying there if they're gonna be bombed and all this stuff is gonna be taken away from them? What's the point of staying there if their children can't go to school anymore? Their daughter is probably miserable, and
I'd say the whole family is miserable.
yeah. So, what'd you say? What would you say to that?
Well, I said that their dad thinks that if all of the educated people leave, nobody will be able to rebuild the country
Yeah.
when everybody's gone, and then it's just going to be a bunch of illiterate thugs running the country.
Yeah, that's what I said. My response was because in the father, I think it said in one of the pages that the father was like, no, this is our home. We have to stay in our home. Okay.
Oh. Don't do that. We'll find it later, but unless it's right on this page or something.
See? Look. Okay.
You found it?
But if someone comes in our home,
That was about guests.
country, oh, it's about taking their home or something like that. That's what I said. That they shouldn't leave their home because Afghanistan is where they live and
Yeah.
all their stuff is from.
So, one of my questions was like, I was wondering how Parvana and her family are gonna make money. How are they gonna survive?
Yeah.
And it turns out they dressed her up like a boy, and so she sells things in the market.
Yeah, and that does make money, but there are some other things that
They did.
they did. They also,
Just say it.
no spoilers, but someone in her,
A friend of hers, we'll just say.
a friend of hers, they dig up bones. They dig up human bones to make money for all these sellers. That on the paper, it makes metal that you can grind up bones, and it makes up medicines, bowls.
They put bones in medicine?
You can, like also all the calcium and stuff. I don't know.
Great.
In the story, it said something like that. I
Well,
think
don't spoiler it yet,
Okay.
because I'm not there yet, and you finished the book.
Okay.
Alright, so another question that we had was, how will Parvana's family get the father back? And I said I think he'll be released or rescued from the jail that he's being kept prisoner in. But apparently, do we want to say it?
Just kidding. I was just kidding about that. You know, right?
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding about?
No. Okay. So
Make up your mind.
I think they will. I think they will get him out of there, and that they will succeed at that. But on a page, they were like screaming at the prisoners, and they were like, "Get out!" And they started beating them, and all this other stuff, which is really, really hurtful. Probably
It hurt my feelings.
it hurt their feelings. Probably.
Yeah.
And it caused them so much pain to see that their husband and their father wasn't there to protect them. But I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe the father will come to them. But
Maybe he will rescue them.
I don't know.
We may never know. And so you have other questions, I see. Yeah.
Okay. One of my other questions was, why don't the soldiers know how to read? I said maybe they're just not educated enough. You said something.
Yeah, I said that whenever they were kids and they're growing up in Afghanistan, I guess maybe they just never needed to learn how to read, and so because they didn't need to read, so they just never learned how. And now they're soldiers, and again, they have no need of it. They can find other people to do it for them.
Yeah. You said that they don't have any need to read. Well, what about they don't have like any religious Bibles like Christians do?
They could have. Maybe they have like I think they do. Like, I don't want to say anything different. I think it's like the Quran. I don't know if that's right though. So.
Oh, okay.
But don't they have? I'm guessing maybe they have a priest who reads it to them or something.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe they just learned it as they were growing up.
Because
yeah.
Paravana, now that she has to drop. Sorry. Yeah. Now that she has to dress up like a boy, she has to take her father's job, which is like reading letters to people.
Like the soldier's note from the wife.
Yeah, he didn't know how to read, so I was like really mixed up. I had mixed feelings about that. One of my other questions was, why is Nuria so mean to Paravan? That was one of
Parvana. Say it with me. Parvana.
Paravana.
Yay!
Okay. I said maybe she just doesn't like Paravana, or maybe she's just too older for her. So I think the book said she's 17.
And then, how old is Parvana? Like
11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
She was 12, but I said that Nuria probably does like Parvana. They're siblings. She probably does like her, but Nuria is the big sister, and she's frustrated. She's the big sister. She's gonna be a little short with Parvana. I don't know. She's a younger sibling. She probably gets frustrated with her, and add to the fact that the mother's like basically just not doing anything, and so Nuria has to take over that role as a mother all of a sudden. And so she's just frustrated with her mother. She can't get angry with her mother. Her mother's practically comatose, so she just takes it out on Parvana.
Yeah. She has to take all this responsibility that her mother should be taking on, and now that her father's gone, she has to act like the grown-up and with Paravana.
Parvana, not Paravana.
I said that.
You said Paravana?
Paravana, yeah.
Parvana.
Paravana.
If there's no extra A. Parvana. Parvana.
Paravana.
You said Paravana.
Paravana.
Okay, let's just get back on track. Parvana.
Paravana.
Good.
Okay. So, you made me lose my train of thought. Okay.
Sorry.
Now that
You were talking about how the mother should be taking all that responsibility and the dad's gone.
Yeah, and Paravana, not to be mean, but little sisters can be really
I have no experience being the oldest kid in the house, so.
Oh, I am a little sibling too. But I know my sister
A lot.
a lot. Like sometimes if I borrow her clothes or something.
You borrow your older sister's clothes?
Yeah, like a belt.
Oh, I thought you meant like you grab a shirt or something
out.
out.
Like
I was
that.
like, what?
But like if she has like underwear or something like that, I borrow that. Look, do you have any sisters?
Nope.
Oh.
I have two brothers.
That's for you then. Okay.
One is 11 and incredibly insufferable, and the other is 3 and adorable.
Well, I do that stuff with my sister, and sometimes she has good sides, like she'll let me do that, or she'll do makeup with me or something like that. Stuff like that.
You put makeup on?
not at school.
Oh, okay.
But stuff like that. And maybe Noria just doesn't have the patience for her sister. Or maybe she's just jealous. I mean, her sister...
Noria just jealous of Parvana?
She gets to go out at the market all by herself and gets to explore the world, but acting like a boy. And
if it was me, if I was Parvana, I'd be jealous of Nuria, because Nuria got to live in that time when, like, before the Taliban came, like, remember how they talked about that briefly?
Parvana did too.
No, I think that was just Nuria.
No, it was Parvana too.